Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another Age of Empires 3 series review today. My name is Harrison, and this is part of the ESOC Premier League number 2. This is a week 2 between the SKGs and the Mandarin Duck Squad. We have Flontier representing the SKGs, and he'll be spawning on the right-hand side of the map today. He'll be playing his Dutch. His opponent, minimoult, playing for the Mandarin Duck Squad, also playing as Dutch. It's hard to actually decide which kind of coin crate is because Dutch always spawn with a wood crate and coin crate, but both players having a food crate as well, so it looks like it's a single food crate start. Actually, no, there's 2 wood crates still on the floor for minimoult, so he's only gathered a little bit of wood elsewhere. Where's this wood income from minimoult? Has he already picked up a 40 wood treasure? And he has, so food and wood start for both players. Working his way on a trapped native warrior. This is a native Iroquois tomahawk, currently pinged down 1 black bear. I think he's already used his crack shots on that previous 40 wood treasure, so it has to creep this one, but nope, it has recharged. This has been a really excellent start for minimoult already. Map balance, nearby hunts, slightly far secondary hunts. Kilo Kite with the Dutch mirror and me playing as observing as the Dutch. Let's go, donating their $11. Thank you very much. Flontier scouting himself a 70 food treasure, but currently working on 75 wood from 3 wolves, managing to take that down first. That'd be very nice for Flontier, especially in transition into the second stage, to help get that bank down a little bit faster. Oh, hang on a minute. Well, this hunt here is the equivalent of this hunt, and this hunt can be herded in. This hunt's the same as this hunt. I am happy with the map balance. I mean, it's good enough. Both players have 2 hunts they can, well, 1 hunt they can herd and 1 hunt they can get a little bit closer. So I'm happy with that. Coin mines. Hang on a minute. Jesus Christ, this map. Where's the second coin mine for minimoult? Up there. But this is closer as well. 4 neutral north, slightly favouring minimoult. There's pros and cons for both players in terms of map balance. We just had to play with it. Carried on. 70 food going to Flontier, so Flontier picking up that 75 wood and 70 food. Minimoult going for 100 food. Good treasures for both players. That extra wood though really is very nice for Flontier for that bank and transition, but minimoult did get that 40 wood earlier. Even going for an early market, and if you're Dutch and you have an early market, I don't think there's a reason to be chopping wood. Chop 50 wood and then go onto your coin mine. You gather coin much faster than wood. It's better to be. It has a a very efficient trade rate and a market as a result, but also you're then gathering that coin to get that first villager in queue in that second stage very quick instead of having to move villagers around. And you have 2 nearby coin mines as well, and Dutch take a long time to complete their coin mines. So potential efficiency options there. See, like minimoult's already up to 350 wood. Nearly getting the coin, so it looks like both players will be dropping that bank down relatively soon. You see that minimoult's had to move all those villagers from that tree onto that coin mine just to get that coin going, to get the vill in. Bank going down with 4 villagers. I think minimoult will be fine here with the coin. Flontier though is getting close to that age up, and he hasn't even got that coin coming in. And look, he's moving even more villagers onto that coin. You could even over gather on, go food and coin, over gather on the food and sell a single batch of foods at the markets to get the coin for your first villager. But it looks like Flontier will just get that coin up in time in transition to get a villager in queue. So no TC idle time from both players. So good early macro from both players, and that is part of what Dutch really do. They need to focus on that early eco management. 90 food from minimoult in the middle. You have a stronger explorer now, but on 140 you still have to kite this properly. I'm not too sure minimoult has that spare actions per minute to really focus on that. He has successfully herded in that forward a hunt nearby, and he has extra hunts at his disposal. Kilo Krite donating that $11, making the Dutch joke, and we have $420 raised at the moment. What a joker. Just imagine if somebody else managed to spoil that joke by donating to ESOC TV. Any donations greatly received, appreciated. Funding future tournaments and prize pools. Donations received. This will help the ESOC Premier League to prize pool. Bigger prizes, the more the teams want it, the more the teams will be practicing, and hopefully the better gameplay we'll be getting. Shipment sent. I'm expecting 3 vil, 700 wood, 1 bank, 600 wood from both players. Both players are not really showing any signs of aggressive playing. Third bank coming for minimoult off that 700 wood. Stable coming down. I'm sure we'll see the same thing for Flontier. Bank coming down off the 700 woods. Stable being thrown down as well. And he always had the market, so he should have enough woods to start getting some of these extra techs down. Minimoult though going for early steel traps. Market, hunting dog steel traps. Does need a... Will need an extra house, and may have actually bought some wood to actually get enough wood to get the hunting dogs and steel traps going. Awkwardly has though 25 wood remaining. Not gone for place mines, but I like that though. He is Dutch. He is focusing on the food income early age 2 because the banks are giving you the coin, and both players are quickly getting their resources up to the next age. But I think both players, this is a tournament game. Play it safe, get a batch of Hussar out in that field. If you have that Hussars on the field, you know you can basically defend cav pressure, put on that pressure, but you can kind of maintain and ensure that your TC will not be idled and your economy and villagers will not be built up. So 4 Hussars pushing out from Flontier, another Hussar in queue behind this. He doesn't have to be committing to finishing the batch. Minimoult, 4 Hussars. Housing population, that house came a little too late, and that's one of the problems with the Dutch is they kind of awkwardly get to that 30 by the time they have the 20th villager, and when you want to try and produce even more Hussars, so it's a little bit of a pop challenge there. Dropping down a 5th bank on the 600 and wood. I do see lots of players enjoying that idea, and even Flontier going for the 4th bank now on the bank shipment. So Flontier going for 600 wood and then the bank, but you can see he's kind of sacrificed a bit of his eco for this early military push, and it's just the card order just doesn't feel as natural as what Minimoult's. And reason being is that bank wagon shipment gives you the XP required to send your next shipment in that little bit earlier. Minimoult, 1 Hussar in queue, and as soon as you'll see these Hussars coming in, he has the population space. He'll complete that batch and get a full batch of 5. I think Minimoult will be in a good place, but he's putting the Hussars back, trying to get the 5 Huss now in queue. Will engage, fills in town centre. Minutemen should be called. 5 Huss popping from the stable very, very soon though. Doing his best to try and engage us out. Minutemen fighting. Flontier has completed snares, and with 5 more reinforcing Hussars coming from the stable, this is going to be a cleanup for Minimoult. And Flontier, what thought was a good idea, is now realising he's in bit trouble here. One of these Hussars getting the snare off this Hussar. Looks like Minimoult has to pull this one Hussar away. Can the Minutemen get another volley on the rest? No, but these Hussars are chasing them across the map. Flontier going 700 coins to get the age up in queue. And I think Minimoult is just going to sit tight. He's got 5 banks, getting coin, villagers with steel traps, place mines in as well. Flontier also having steel traps, but doesn't want to be training any more Hussars than he has to, and will be getting the resources naturally on the 3rd age and saving himself for shipments. And Minimoult's position and play this game, it's been a nicer position at the moment. 1 vil going down on herding duties, but actually it's not too bad though. Flontier is actually working his way on this hunt. Same can't really be said for Minimoult. Still working with what's got in the base and needs to try and push out this hunt very, very soon. Minutemen pushing into the town centre, trying to draw 1 settler worth of fire onto these 1 HP Minutemen. And if anything, at this moment, these Minutemen are taking up pop space, because population is hard to come by for the Dutch in the Fortress Age, especially when you're continuously spamming raiders, skirmishers, and Age 3 military shipments. Both players go to the Fortress Age with the Exiled Prince. I would expect Minimoult's first card to be 1000 wood coming in. He just feels like he has that momentum, and he just has that kind of liberty to go for that wood shipment. Yeah, shipment's been sent. Population hasn't increased so far, and actually Flontier, I don't think he's got that shipment just in queue at the moment. It's close, but not sent just yet. I'm not too sure Flontier has that kind of time availability. Even have to put villagers onto the wood now. Gang saw being researched. So Minimoult's got lots of resources in bank because he can't really overproduce units at the moment because he hasn't got the house and space. He's waiting for that 1k wood, and you see once that wood comes in, he's going to put maybe 5 vills to gather it up, 6 vills. 1k wood comes in very fast, throwing down houses left, right, and centre. Probably 3 houses over here would be nice for line of sight. Flontier going for the 5 Hussar raids, and I don't like a 5 Hussar raid at this point of the game. You know Reuters will be out in the field very, very soon, and yeah, Minimoult having 5 Hussars themselves and the 5 Reuters available, easily defending that. Trading post coming out for Minimoult. Not too sure that's really going to be paying off at this stage of the game. Skirmishers, first card for Flontier. And training batches, skirmishers, and the second batch as well. This is setting the tone for Flontier. I think Flontier, with the... He's got 5 banks now. So the eco is relatively even. But this 1k wood shipment for Minimoult, very nice. I would like to see, yeah, veteran Hussars coming in from Minimoult, and that's where that extra 1k wood helps. You have the wood for the houses, wood for a second stable, wood for the Hussar upgrade, and with 1 Hussar training from 1 stable, 1 Reuter training for the other, and about 1,000 of resources from both resources available. I'm expecting a 5 Hussar, 5 Reuter batch, skirmisher being queued as well, but Minimoult's going pure cavalry at this point, and versus what Flontier has, I think a pure cavalry play can work well. You can send cav combat and upgrade both the Reuters and Hussars. That's the one thing a skirm Reuter competition really struggles. You have to make the choice between infantry combat or cav combat. Right, pushing out on that 10 Hussars. Pull triggering Hussars to the front. Hussars engaged in the skirmishers, but these Reuters having to block the Hussars, and actually the skirmishers, these Reuters are now going down to Minimoult's Reuter mass, and even these Hussars are doing some decent damage against these Reuters. There's not too many Reuters out in the field for Flontier, and this skirmisher mass is at risk of being completely overrun by these Hussars and Reuters, but in the end, really good micro there from Flontier, focusing down those Hussars. With only 4 Hussars remaining, it's just not really enough to really force the issue, but I think Minimoult sees what's happening. He is happy with his military unit tactics. Cav combat next card, could even send 5 Hussars to the card afterwards. And how many units in queue do we see? He's currently 90 out of 90, having to buy wood for the next couple of houses. 3 Hussars in queue. I'm hoping that's 2 in one stable, 1 in another, and we could see a, judging by this macro, an 8 Hussar, 9 Hussar batch. Nine Reuter shipment coming from Flontier, so Flontier going 8 skirm, 9 Reuters, Minimoult 1k wood, 9 Reuters, and the cav combats. I'm not too sure the wood is available for Minimoult for going to Arsenal, and that's kind of what this TP really kind of hinders your wood count. Could have got these extra houses a little bit easier, maybe gone for the Arsenal as well, but those decided to go for the training post, and it's, you know, longer that training post sits there, it does pay off eventually. Even picking up a Vil kill there. Very nice. 2 Vils actually. So 3 Hussars putting in the work. Okay, no, 1 Vil went down earlier in this corner due to that raiding. Skirmishers getting separated from their Reuter counterparts. And yeah, Minimoult, I think he had the opportunity to press his cavalry advantage once he had picked off many of Flontier's Reuters, but Flontier he knows he doesn't need to overdo the skirmisher count. He has the skirmisher lead, and he's just massed up so many Reuters. This is actually quite an impressive remass here from Flontier. Minimoult's kind of sitting back a little bit. Starting to go skirms now. 8 skirmisher shipments, and enough Hussars on the field. Let's go into military unit count. I think we're going to see a bit of an engagement coming in here. Not enough skirmishers really here to deal with these veteran Reuters. And Flontier is just going to continue prodding his way. But Hussars swinging in. Flontier running between the trees. Stagger mode, it looks like, allow his Reuters to pass through a little bit better. Alright, Reuters engaging with the Hussars and Reuters of Minimoult. Remember, these guys in cav combat though. Hussars swinging into skirmishers front ranks. But actually the skirmishers, he's got so many skirmishers, he can afford to lose a few of these. these Reuters is what keeping Flontier's army together and has picked off many of the Hussars from Minimoult and Reuters ready. And actually, Flontier is now, he feels like he's in a real safe spot, even going cav combat as well. More skirmishes than what Minimoult has. Full-on drag box from Minimoult to get his Hussars out front. Hussars about slamming once again onto the skirmishers. Reuters, though, overfires on that one Hussar. Hussars gets a bit of a good value here. And actually, there's lots of Hussars here. Reuters need to keep on kiting back and try and pick these guys off, but Reuters counter the Hussars, and now Flontier has just taken the military population lead after that good engagement. And you can just see there's only a couple more Hussars and only 5 or 6 from Minimoult, so it's not really effective. Again, drag boxing that army forwards. 3 volleys here from Flontier on the side. Hussars getting a nice side flank onto the skirmishers, but actually I think Flontier is happy that he's ahead in the Reuters count here. Looks like, yeah, 40 Reuters versus Flontier's 18. There must be a big batch of Reuters coming in, as a few Reuters just AFK from the fight. Where are the rest of those Reuters? It feels like there's more than that waiting, and a big Hussar batch as well, trying to catch Minimoult's transition to skirmishers off guard. He's pulled that Reuter mass with him as well now. 27-7 Reuters and the Hussar advantage. Copies of Reuters in hand combat to snare these guys. Really good control from Flontier. Flontier pushing in now with his Hussars and veteran Reuters. Infantry combat from Minimoult, but not many military units remain in. And this is going to be a clean-up from Flontier. It's really well played. Minimoult still staying this though. He doesn't want to resign just yet. But 60 population down, 16 quite tough, and especially with cavalry raising your food supplies. Didn't see all these vills gathering wood down to the south, but I think he's just going to look on the map and look at the hunts and realise this is the place where Minimoult is gathering his food income. And you can see how the cavalry is kind of pathing around the side of the base. You don't need to push into the base if you're going to move around. And an emergency 7 Reuter shipment coming from Minimoult as well to try and stabilise. 7 Reuters when you have 5 banks. Very underwhelming shipments here. Skirmishers engaging with the Reuters. Reuters picking up all these Hussars, and it's going to be an 8 Hussar raid on top of these Dutch eco-vills. And surely this is going to be the nail in the coffin for Minimoult. Even Flontier calling his Minutemen from the town centre. This is a Flontier move if I've ever seen it. And, you know, for 150 food, 150 coin, I think they've already paid off. They've at least got like 2 or 3 volleys in. Could kill another Vill as well, this infantry mass. So, you know, it certainly does its job. All the eco now idled from Minimoult. 18 Vills bailed up. Not much space available for Minimoult to path. And, yeah, the Arsenal range cavalry caracol coming in really late. And looks like Minimoult is just going to lose his mass. He's trapped underneath the cliff with the SARS on the east side. Minutemen's still doing some decent damage. And I'm sure we'll be seeing the resign coming very, very soon. Big raid north side. More food villagers going down. This is dragging Hussars away from the army, but there's still too many Reuters and skirmishers here for this Reuter mass to engage. And I'm looking for ways Minimoult can get back into this. I'm struggling to see. Swiss pikes is an option. Has Flontier got Swiss pikes? He's got the Hackapels. Yeah, the coins issues for Flontier was a bit iffy, but I didn't realise he'd be going for this coin mine. There's a coin mine down to the south which he may not have scouted, and certainly a coin mine near his food videos he could have gone for, but Hussars trying to snare the Reuters. More Hussars still alive. Reuters going down. 60-14 now. Losing a few villagers to these Reuters here, but villagers evacuates another coin mine. Skirmishers will come in. And if anything, these villagers can just stand and fight because Reuters not the greatest versus villagers. Only a 10 range attack per shot. I think Flontier is still training units because he's got the military advantage and kind of shut off the map to Minimoult. Other options could be good up for the 4th age. I don't think he has a mercenary shipment on the way. I think minimoult also doesn't have a mercenary. It's hard to say because quite a lot of its population is recalculated. It kind of takes up population space. There's lots more military coming in for Flontier though, because it's 9 Cs. We've got about extra 14 pop incoming, so maybe another military shipment has been sent from Flontier, and that could be the 5 Hussars as well. 5 Hussars right now would be very, very nice, or the Hacker Pels, we'll have to see. Veteran Reuters on north side, skirmishers pushing in again, villagers struggling to find resources, no food incoming for minimoult, and a 5 Hussar shipment, and 5 Hussars cost in about 620 food resources, or no, it's just 600. Insane. 600 food being shipped into Flontier, but that's just food minimoult can really get at the same point. He's even sending the 5 Hussar shipment earlier, but still in this, he's picking off more vills. Flontier never got his greatcoats and been rightfully punished as a result of it, but Reuters wrapping from behind. Good to see a good Hussar snares topside. A few skirmishers nearby putting on some fire, but you don't want to be losing too many units in this case. Or at least if you're going to lose villagers, at least have the siege to knock down minimoult's banks. More Hussars left side, so close to this mill, but I don't think it's just been scouted just yet from Flontier. Minimoult's working, he's Reuters, he's kiting his absolute best and making the best out of the extra 2 range that range cavalry Caracol upgrade provides, but there's too many Reuters here to really deal with from Flontier, and minimoult's still retreating, but each time he retreats he's losing even more units. He's now seeing this mill, and Flontier seeing his opponents on a mill must be a bit of a kind of a red flag for him, going, hang a minute, this is your entire eco, you spend 400 wood on it and your food income's really poor, you cut off the food and there's no more Reuters or Hussars. I guess you can still buy the food for the Reuters because they only cost 30 food, but Flontier is still trying to search for villagers out on the north side of the map, but actually he's denied all that hunting. You can kind of just about see if he sends a couple of Reuters that way. Big raid topside again. Flontier still not having that great coats. These villagers are going down, but I think they would go down to 2 shots anyway, or 2 volleys, so not the biggest difference there. More skirmishes being produced. Reuters in base, going to get absolutely cornered. minimoult going for the market here. I don't know why they're going for the market. 8 siege damage per Reuter. A build which costs 100 wood when there's still like 5 banks up. This bank's on 500 HP. But the liberties you can take when you're so far ahead in the military count. Another batch of 5 Reuters coming up, and skirmishers is going to move slightly forward and take this down. And Reuters engaging right side, and Flontier double pumping fishing boats for the food count, and that's a smart play. This is he knows he's ahead. Could even send 1k wood at this point. He's basically sent all the unit shipments as well as the cav combat, infantry combat. It's either hacker pels or wood. I think wood is going to be the smartest choice here at the moment. I have to give a lot of credit to minimoult for trying to stay in this, and versus worse opponents, you can over macro them and work them around, run them around the map and try and completely destroy. But when you're down so much military population, it just feels you're continuously training units, but it's going down very, very quickly. And there's the GG for minimoult. He realizes he only had 5 vills remaining, couldn't do too much more. Uh, 1-0 for Flontier. The SKG clan, they still roar on here. Flontier is their flag bearer, trying to regain lost honor and show that the SKGs are still present, they're still playing, and they still mean business. you can just see that early engagement went so well for minimoult, and that was at the start of it. It was looking pretty dicey for Flontier. Lots of skirmishers on the field for Flontier, but minimoult massing a cavalry mass. But Flontier realizing Reuter count was so low, double pumping Reuters from 2 stables, as well as 9 Reuter shipments, and then eventually cav combat. But these Reuters were just picking apart those Hussars, and in a large engagement with that many Reuters, those Hussars were just destined to fall, because the Hussars would be at the forefront of the army anyway, so they'll be drawing all of the Reuter fire, whereas a few of the skirmishers may be firing at the Hussars, but that's the problem with hand cavalry charging first, is that they just draw all of the anti-cavalry fire, and they fell apart so quickly there. So well played for Flontier to kind of adapt to that situation, because it was looking pretty tough at that situation. I thought minimoult, the better build, better position, but I think he just let that anti-cavalry army of Flontier grow just a little bit too much, especially when minimoult's entire army was basically Hussars and Reuters, which is essentially double cav. 1k wood difference here is basically the only difference. And then towards the end, lots of vills going down for minimoult, and that's why the lines were converging. Lots of raids in towards the end, actually. Minimoult getting the raids in first, but Flontier, when he pushed into minimoult's base, just took off lots of villagers, and then eco lead or eco equivalents, but military advantage at that point. So you can just see this at this point. It's 93 down to about 8, or let's be polite and say 20. Pretty grim. So yeah, good game there. Oh, I know what you mean by graphics settings. Options, graphics, 1920 by 1080, 3260. VSync is on because sound bug. I don't notice any difference with it's on or off. Anti-alias off. I don't really notice anything. Shaders on high, shadow on very high. Water reflections on. Bloom effect, I've turned it off. I've had it on before. I'm not a massive fan of the bloom effect. It kind of oversaturates colours, and just it kind of really kind of makes the environment a bit more vivid, but just in a not great way. I'm not a fan of that. Highlight polymodels on. Cliff, terrain. Particle details, it's only low normal. Tracer effects on. Footprints, I do have that off though. I'm not a fan of footprints, because just like sometimes you can get that tiny bit of advantage of seeing your opponent's footprints in that line of sight out of the way. But it just, for me, when you see like an army of 50 skirmishers walking across the map and you just see that footprint behind you, thinking, it's a bit messy. Especially war wagons, so you see their wheel prints. It's really strange. Terrain high, model high, and sound is just sound. So yes, that's what it is. I've just realised what you meant. I thought you were talking about stream settings and graphics card and that kind of stuff. Well, the graphics card is only kind of mid-range. I've got a nice CPU, but that doesn't really matter. The Mandarin Duck Squad to pick into game number 2. Mandarin Duck Squad minimoult. So MDS to pick, and it looks like minimoult is going to go for the auto and probably a lock. It's up to Flontier to decide how he wants to reply to this, and I think Flontier is an Ottoman player.
Yes.
Could even see an auto mirror here. No, going for the Sioux. Sioux and Lumarco feels awkward. I think this extra wood crate really helps Ottoman. The wood's nice for Sioux, I guess. You're always guaranteed a Sioux TP as well, all the time, and maybe an easier access to going for the market. But yeah, if it's not an actual wood crate start for the Sioux, it's going to feel super awkward. I'm not too sure about this, but I guess Flontier could either go second age, a bow pike rush, or bow club rush into Ottoman player base. Could go for like a 3-4 bow rider semi FF into pure Rifle Rider Wakina. There is options. I wouldn't be surprised if minimoult was like hoping for like a German or a French pick and just a standard semi-FF putting pressure on the base coming out. But versus Sue, it's not as often you see games like that coming out. Sue like to use the mobility. Ottoman actually kind of take a back seat role and try and play for the map and play for the town centres and the trading routes. So you could see lots of action on the northeastern map this game. But this map, not as open as other maps like Fraser River, is quite narrow, and that favours the Ottoman civilization here heavily.
Yes.
Zeke in the chat saying, you can see the footprint of a native scout in stealth mode. That's so dumb, that is. Maybe I should have the footprints on then. We've seen this matchup in particular multiple times across the EPL, and the unit composition you'd want to be thinking about at this point would be a Cav Archer, Abus gun in the third age, probably a in-base Tower FF to get to the third age in a pretty quick manner, but launching into Cavalry Archers where Flontier, I guess it's just going to be Bow Rider spam. Bow Rider's good options. Could even, if he wanted to, try and play a containing game on the Ottoman and drop some TPs on that south side and drop some Sue TPs on the north side and just wait for Ottoman to push out. And the Ottoman pushing into an army buffed and boosted by Sue TPs, quite tough. But I guess the Ottoman has access to Siege. Siege countered by Bow Riders very convincingly. His options. I think if Flontier plays well with the Sue native TPs, shall I say, there's the little actual 50 wood buildings. He can really force a very, very good fight over a coin mine or an extra hunt somewhere. Poisson in the chat saying that this map for Sue, no walling. Yeah, it's awkward. Like the Ottoman player can wall the south side, drop a gate in it, and the Sue player feels a bit awkward. It's like, do you siege the wall? Do you go around the wall? Do you? Because you can't wall up yourself. Right, welcome back, guys. This is going to be game number 2 between minimoult and Flontier. Flontier taking a 1-0 win after that Dutch mirror on Adirondacks. Really well played by Flontier, managing to mass enough raiders when it really mattered. But now choosing to play a similar civ in that respect, going for the Ottoman, going for the Sue against minimoult's Ottomans. Expecting to see lots of bow riders here from Flontier this game. Flontier spawning into the south side of the map. Extra wood crate always present on this map, but it's also a wood crate starts. Flontier is just going to go straight for a TP, and he's going for this middle TP. Such a smart play by Flontier, actually. You can see this is exactly where the Ottoman player's going. He's casually walking across the map. Think he's got the complete right for this. Oh, this is a mistake, though. Oh, no. Get onto it. Put it down. Who's going to build it first? It's close. And it looks like Flontier managing to get there. I think these Cougars are fully reset now. Yes, so looks like after that, Flontier managing to just about get that trading post down. Very, very nice play from Flontier. And this is delaying minimoult that first trading post of himself. Minimoult playing as the Ottoman spawning on the west side of the map. On the other side of the cliff, making use of that extra early wood start for going for his own trading post. But he's still got 200 wood left over because he wants to go for the other trading post on the other side of the map. But the way Flontier has put his trading post right in the middle of this map, he's making the Ottoman player work for his experience. And actually, I think minimoult should have capitalized and actually taken this 80 wood treasure. That wood treasure, nice pickup available, and could even give minimoult an in-base Sue TP to help that early game eco drastically. But Sue Explorer choosing to not get this 80 wood, and I'm disagreeing with this play. You can see now that the Sioux player's going for it, but crack shot in. Cougar only has 115 HP. You can see Sioux Explorers running back as fast as possible, whereas not really. And 80 wood goes towards the Osman player. Hunts both players. Both players start with a hunt down to the south. Always spawns there. Coin mine in a bit of interesting place for minimoults, but he's matched by normal for minimoult. Flontiers is a little bit further south than you expect. That hunt's walked off to the edge of the map, but can't go any further. But the rest of the resources very balanced, and this map's a very equal spawning. Buccaneer coming out, Parrot coming out for Sioux. But looks like minimoult's sneaking in that treasure there, and you know Flontier, he could have got that 70 wood treasure, and that kind of really dissuaded minimoult for doing something else or trying to push out the map. But actually now comfortable out of the map. The next treasure is what Flontier was going for, but no crack shot though, and this pirate is keeping this explorer snared quite happily, or vice versa. Crack shot only finally coming out now, but Mohammed Mustafa down to 115 HP. The mosque was thrown up instead for minimoult instead of a second trading post. I think he realised it would take him a while to get onto that and could actually chop a bit of wood in transition if he wanted to go for a second trading post, but this mosque is paying off as soon as he's built it instead of once the TP pass and once the trading post is constructed. So minimoult has decided to go for in-base mosque. Now moving out onto this extra trading post, and you can see he's now chopping the wood available. Governor aged up from minimoult as expected. I'm expecting a in-base tower FF from minimoult. Right, Frontier's aging up a few coin. I would like to see 50 wood come in to go for a Sioux TP, but I guess he could be going with the Chief age up at this point. Yes, Chief age up 400 wood. Maybe get enough wood here for market, hunting dogs, Sioux TP, and then a single military production because. Oh no, does the Sioux Explorer think he's going to get that second trading post? I hope that's not Frontier's plan, because you know, the Osman player is already there getting that trading post, but you always know that Osman has so much wood to start off with on this map. But yeah, that's the second TP in. Good scouting here. Scouting exactly what Mimat's going up with, and we'll see the coin and the outpost wagon. Sees the coin, outpost wagon moving forward. He may try to kind of attack this unit, but it won't do much. This outpost wagon is going to get built in the middle of the map. And you see, just the Sioux Explorer, it's just tickling this outpost wagon. Oh, he's slowly losing his HP. And there's no other nearby converted guardians nearby to help the Sioux player out. Right, Sioux TP built in base. Market down as well, wood available. Has the wood available to go for hunting dogs. Probably wants to go hunt dogs straight away. Has herded in that deer hunt from the far south side, so good herding there from Flontier. Very nice to have that entire eco in this box, but the coin mine is currently not in the Sioux TP radius. That's a bit of a shame. Corral going down, but awkwardly has like 150 wood left over. It has another wood crate as well, so actually no, he's calculated it. He wants to get a defensive war hut as well, which costs 250 wood. It's quite funny how the TP kind of increases your crate gathering rate as well. It doesn't really make it much better because you have to kind of collect it in 5 batches from a villager. Just like your last batch only gets 14 resources. Age up is in queue for minimoult. Shipment sent for both players. 700 coin, 700 wood from minimoult. 5 villas from Flontier. So standard stuff. Nothing out the blue from both players. Flontier likely to go 700 coin next, and both players making their way very fast to the third age. Scouts coming in for minimoult. I would actually have liked to seen the Abus gun age up here. The scout. You're always going to know that the Sioux players are going to bow riders in this matchup, or bow riders, rifle riders, and try and make the most of that mobility. This is some sweet level of herding. We've got a Guanaco, 392 food, a 340 food, and a 370. So these 3 Guanacos just been killed straight away, but they're all at high food counts, and actually there's lots of dead animals here. There's a Guanaco 230, Guanaco here. That's alive, but this one's at 170 food. So this is some sweet style herding here for Minimoult. Look at this. Dead Guanaco, 2 Vils herding for some strange reason. Both eating 1 dead Guanaco each, and in-base market coming up. Defense is stable, but looking to go into bow riders on the age up or cav archers, unless Minimoult is planning for some sort of revolt shenanigans. That is an option we always have to keep open. And let's have a quick check into Minimoult's deck and see if we get any extra insight. No Spahis, 5 cav archers, 5 Abus guns here. Only has the 2 artillery cards. Could have gone for the 3rd artillery card as well, at the expense of 600 food. I don't think you'd really be going for double Jan push as the Ottomans in this matchup, so that could have been changed. 5 Hussars, 2 Bombards in the 4th age, but no extra Hussar shipments in the 4th age. Not too sure what the 2 Bombards are really meant to do versus Sioux. But I suppose actually Bombards themselves are very strong versus cavalry. I think Bombards have a very high base attack and not many modifiers, and those Bombards, they'll just blast anything and everything they see. 5 Rifle Riders, first card coming in from Sioux. A nice high value resource shipments of about 1,050 resources, but Rifle Riders not the best versus cavalry archers. Alright versus Hussars. These guys are more specialist anti-heavy infantry and anti-artillery than they are versus anti-cavalry, and Bow Riders would be much better pick. Even training a batch of 5 Rifle Riders, Bow Riders is the order. Like, you see, those 5 Cav Archers just picked off 1 Rifle Rider. Before that, 10 Rifle Riders could even pick off 1 Cav Archer. And Rifle Riders, low HP stats, so they're specialist unit counters, but they're not standard anti-cavalry, which the Sioux player has at the disposal. I won't be surprised if Flontier is going to go straight into Wakinas and Boaters now, because he's realised what those Rifle Riders didn't achieve, let's say. 1,000 Wood, first card from Minimoult, and that's gone for the trading post after the Hussars took that down. It will be the stagecoach and a town centre as well, so that's 900 there, and probably an extra house or 2. Market in steel traps as well as Millet System and the Gala Tower District. I'm sure Togepi will come in at a later point. But Minimoult looking to be in a very favourable position at the moment. I don't think he needs to be pushing out and doing anything silly at this point. Just mass your Cav Archers. You've got Cav Combat. He's already sent 5 Cav Archers. Maybe after this we might see... if you get a second stable, 1,000 coin could be quite nice. I think 5 Abus guns will be the order of the play, though. No, yeah, 1,000 coin, really good shipments, actually. I think if Minimoult can get away with 1,000 coin, he will try his best to send that. And Rifle Riders and Wakina Rifles, if Minimoult drops... No, if Flontier sends 1,000 wood, builds a plantation, and researches the Sioux Big Button for 400 wood, you'll get plus 25% damage for both the Rifle Riders and the Wakina Rifles. That is a plus 25 attack damage for rifle-based units of the Sioux Army from the plantation Big Button. So that is something you need to consider if you're going for a Rifle Rider Wakina combination, but rifles that's not great versus other cavalry units, and you even see Minimoult pushing in with Hussars and Cav Archers, and he sees the rifles. 2 Rifle Riders going down straight away, focusing down his 1 Cav Archer with 357 HP, more rifles going down, and the entire Rifle Rider contingency of Flontier is gone. It's just wasted. Only now getting 2 Bow Riders out, but these are only Colonial Bow Riders, and it feels that's just a bit of knowledge. But if Flontier had before the game, it could have really paid off. But Rifle Riders were not the call, and it's cost him dearly. I believe quite a few villagers were dancing on the fire pit there, but not too many actually. Flontier, full HP as Sioux Explorer. How do you take on the 3 TP, second TC, another town centre looking to be placed on this side once he does have the wood for it. I want to see a second stable though. One stable at this point is not good enough. Okay, going for another artillery foundry and sending 5 Abus. So 5 Abus instead of 1,000 coin. Could even get enough coin now to actually go for Mamelukes instead of carrying on unit Abus production. Let's have a look at Flontier's deck, have a quick check. He has the Axe Riders into Rifle Riders, very good versus Orlean Jan play. So you have those Specialists and Heavy Infantry Cavalry, Seaton Bows, 15 Bison, only 1 upgrade card for Cavalry. So that's Sue is very awkward, it has lots of H2 shipments he wants to have. No TP attack, no extra TP card build limits as well. 2 cards here, which very useful from defending from Ottoman revolts. And I don't think Sue's ever going to get to the 4th age in this game, so I guess those cards are just a bit more redundant. Again, look at this Rifle Rider mass, and watch how fast these Cav Archers will tear these guys down. Because these guys, 17 range attack, but fire twice as fast as these Rifle Riders can shoot, I believe. Unless these Rifle Riders are also fast at shooting ranged cavalry. I'm not too sure on that one, so don't quote me just yet. But still, extra 100 HP is certainly significant, and Flontier not even getting around to sending the combat shipments yet for Sue. But just remember that weakness can build TPs, so that's nice. Right, Egyptian Mams out on the field, 4 sent to the forward outpost. Needs to keep them together. But I think once he sees this engagement, he's just going to call his Mams in. Maybe overcommit with the cavalry archers to take down some of these bow riders, but how does Flontier stop 4 Mamelukes with just a handful of bow riders and these pretty poor rifle riders? No chance. And this is Minimoult's time to, I think, push in and right-click this army. There's no TPs nearby. This aura is just speed boost, and there you go. It's just all going to move in. Nice position on the war chief though. Not Minimoult needs to focus it down, but Mams on the Wakina rifles from Flontier. What do? Focus down the Cav Archers? Are they the damage dealers? Or by Abus guns? Not the Mams, just leave them alone. But it just feels like it's starting to fall apart here. You know what, that didn't go too bad actually for Flontier. I was expecting that to go much, much worse, especially once those Mamelukes on the field. Still having 2 with 1670 HP due to the Cav combat card. And oh my god, that is disgusting to see. 1700 HP on a Cav unit, wow. Another town centre being dropped by Minimoult to further control the north side. Would have been nice actually to drop the town centre here and try and control this extra hunt from Flontier, because once Flontier runs out of this hunt, the final fight will be coming, or a GG's coming, because you know Flontier will be starved. Cheeky wall to the south as well from Minimoult, nice play. Sue can't push through here unless it sieges it down, but if the Sue army sieges this war down, Minimoult will just push in onto the Sue eco, so it's just a win-win from Minimoult with that wall. Artillery attack coming in here. I would like to see the 1,000 coin instead. And having your TPs on wood to get extra production down, like a second stable. Maybe not second artillery foundry, but second stable being very, very nice. But I suppose I have the UI, I get to see everything. Dog soldiers being shipped from Flontier. These are not the big button dog soldiers. There's no way Flontier has enough resources to even think about researching those. And that 3rd town centre from Minimoult, quite tough. Checking these villagers, they have the 2nd tier villager production increase, so actually increasing at a much faster rate, and Minimoult's just going to slowly take this. And you can see these villagers now pushing out onto another coin mine, or another hunt. He does have that coin mine to the back of his base, 2,000 resources not touched yet, so these villagers are having to gather this food. And that was what I was saying about that town centre. Just imagine town centre with villagers training inside. 2 times damage versus other opposing villagers. Minutemen support, spawn point support. Finally, the 2nd stable for Minimoult's coming down. A little bit later than I would have hoped for, but at least it's going down now. Cav Combat again coming for Flontier. Where's his fire pit? He's away from that fire pit. He's not actually dancing, so I don't think that final engagement is going to happen just yet. But I'm struggling to see Flontier's options at this point. Let's listen to some Mamelukes in combat. So those Mams are drawing so much fire from the bow riders, but that provides all this firing for minimoult's Abus gun and Cav archers. And if you trade off versus this eco support of the 3 TPs and state town centers, it's just not going to happen. Because didn't know auto cav combat works on Mams. Hazard didn't know that either. See, even your top players in the games are missing out on valuable Age of Empires 3 knowledge brought to you by Harrison on ESOC TV. I think Russia have the cav combat. I think even the Dutch have an all cavalry combat. So, for example, in Iowa you can go pure, well, maybe not pure, but you can lean heavy on the raiders and then call in your Lakota dog soldiers, and those dog soldiers will be cav combated as well. So 15 minutes, 5 elite dog soldiers from Lakota, about 700 base HP or 750, and then the 42 hand attack, plus 15 on both, and they're just scary units. So I suppose these cavalry units also work for stuff like Cheyenne, Comanche, so other options. But yeah, Mamelukes with not the elite bow riders, but 1700 HP. Wow. I think the game slipped out of Flontier's hands early in Age 3 when you're just losing lots of his rifle riders very cheaply against what Minimoult has. And at this point, you're thinking, oh, you've just traded away 10 rifle riders and you've picked off maybe 3 cav archers. It just wasn't a good trade at that point. Wakinas are decent, but I think Sue really needs to try and fight under a TP, and I didn't see much. Didn't see much Sue of trying to put down a couple of Sue TPs here, because then you're forcing, right, do you want me to fight you under the TPs, or do you want to let you take down my trading post and town centre? Eventually going to elite bow riders, and you see the bow riders doing much better versus the Mamelukes and cav archers. So just imagine if those bow riders came in earlier. 1-all as well. Just having a look through the comment section. Otto, when Hazarov, when Otto has more than 10 vills and the TP line, you know you're in trouble. And yes, and the downside of what Flontier was doing was going for bow rider, rifle rider, Wakina, is that the siege potential in that is pretty poor. If you went in other matchups, I wouldn't say that game you would do this, but in other matchups where the combination would be Wakina's, Axe Riders, Dog Soldiers, the Axe Riders and Dog Soldiers have the siege potential, so that when you go siege dance, you actually have a much more magnified siege output, and then you can put pressure on the town centers. But those bow riders, they're firing arrows, and they're not going to be taking down town centers. Timberman just subscribing to ESOC. Thank you for subscribing to ESOC there. Who won? It was the Ottoman player. That was Minimoult. Ambi Pommel, Poisson. Also, I want to know what the Otto win rate this tournament is, and it's high. It's probably very, very high. Matchups. Yes.
Yes.
Flontier to pick. don't know why, but once I'm in the lobby, like for some reason, the bitrate starts to change a little bit and starts to drop a few frames in the lobby. But apart from that, no, it's all fine. It's been sat very happily about 4,500 bits per second, so good upload rate at the moment. It's a bit disconcerting when the color scheme varies from about red to yellow to orange to red and back to green. Just brief spikes here and there during the lobby, but in the games it's been fine. Flontier picking the Japan Civ on Suparo, and I like that pick, but quite hard to defend your base though, and depends on which spawn from Suparo, whether it's the 2x2 trading route or the single mid-map 4 TPs on a mega long trading route. You might get completely taken out due to map control on the 4 trading posts. So it really does depend which spawn comes out for Suparo, whether I'm liking Flontier's pick or absolutely not liking it, and maybe a Portuguese pick here could have been a good pick. Spain does alright here as well. Riot Coke, Rifle Riders are the same speed as Cav Archers, both have a 1.5 rate of fire. Okay, so it looks like Rifle Riders are a little bit better than I thought they were. So good spot there, Riot Coke. But certainly, they'd have the same rate of fire as Bow Riders, and at the end, one of the Bow Riders had a 34 range attack, and so probably twice as effective as a Rifle Rider in combat. British coming out from minimoult, so we have another Japan Brit game. One of the more even matchups that you're going to have, so looking forward to that one. Jazz saying, Kilo Cry, are you staying awake to 6 AM today as well? I think Kilo Cry is one of our friends down under in Australia, and yeah, prob. Good effort. But like later we have is it Soldier playing? Soldier's playing later, so that should be good. At the moment we're still trying to find casters. Let me check on the stream coordination to see what is going on. All I can say is it's a bit chaotic. I'll try and get you an answer later on. Yawn. Just looking through the chat, and where has this Nuka come from? Nuka and Chill. Is this now a thing? Nuka and Chill? Oh, Jesus Christ. I'll send Nukas instead of send something else. Comet K added a permitted term, send nudes. Strange.
Yes.
Right, Flontier's back, I'm back, minimoult's ready to go, I'm ready to go, and hopefully, just like that, we're all ready to go. So we're all sat there ready, but none of us are actually readied up. Sonny Dash number 3 donating $100 to ESOC community. Thanks for the awesome content, and thank you, Sonny Dash 3. That is a very big donation, very generous. I'm glad you've been enjoying the content, and luckily for you, we're in the second week. There's still another 3 4 weeks to go, as well as this week and the playoffs, so plenty more content available for you to enjoy. Right, score 1-1 between minimoult and Flontier. Let's move to the scoreboard to the side. Wood crate start for both players, and we have minimoult spawning on the left-hand side, playing Mandarin Knock Squad. British Civ chose to play the Brits as a counter to what Flontier is doing, playing the Japan on Tuparo. Interesting pick. I haven't seen Japan play this map yet, and I wonder how they will be able to deal with this swampy terrain where walling your base is going to be quite awkward. May have to drop a Wander here, trying to get walls placements very tough. May have to go for a very tightly compacted base build in at the moment just to get everything going. Both explorers north side as well working their way, maybe about to work on a 100 coin treasure, but dropping an early shrine, not waiting for a consulate. We're looking for a slightly faster build here from Flontier by the looks of it. It's the 2x2 training post spawn, which I prefer to spawn. I think it adds a lot more dynamic to the game. But lots of hunts here. It's just so many hunts left side. 3 hunts very close around the base, or maybe this is a starting hunt gone a bit far astray, but even a nearby hunt here. And quite a lot of these hunts can't really be shrined because they kind of lay in the swamp area. So it does add, again, why the Japan was picked out from Flontier. But, you know, very wide. You can drop shrines on this side, drop shrines down here, and, you know, it'd be hard for minimoult to try and pick everything. Oh, actually, no, it's minimoult is 2-1 up, isn't? No, wait, which map? Admiral Dax was Flontier, Lumarco was minimoult. We're on Tuparo now, so yes, got my maps mixed up. It's just 1-1, but that means we still have another 3 games to play. Flontier scouting the 250 food treasure. I wonder if Japan can kite this really well. They do have 2 stuns, 2 explorers, and divine strikes available. We've got to see if it's going to come back after this treasure. An early 250 food though, that's game changing. Not game breaking, but game changing. Oh, you've upset Keelock right now. You've ruined his $420 donation bar. Oh. So, minimoult on a 300 wood start went for a manor house and trading post. Had to drop an extra bit of woods to get that manor house down. 3 villas already been sent. Virginia Company has just been sent as well. This is a build that the British can do against boomier civs on a wood start in a TP map. Is go for that trading post, send in a second shipment of Virginia Company. So that reduces the price of your British manor houses. But what that really helps as well is you can build that 1 manor house faster because you spend less. You can start building at an earlier point due to it costing less, and you get that villager from the manor house quicker. You get the experience quicker, and it's just a kind of a positive reinforcements circle. That the more manors, more villas, more woods, more manors. It just spirals like that. So a really strong card there for minimoult. Flontier sending 2 villas first cards and all going for the Tory Gates. This is not a Tushoga Shrine play. And he still has wood over. Like if he wanted to, he could have gone for another shrine at this point and just increase his pot, which he's now doing so. But it looks like minimoult doing his due diligence with Explorer, moving in, scouting Tory Gates. Does not scout a consulate and not going consulate with the Heavenly Cami on the wood start. That's a bit of an interesting decision here, and minimoult has now seen it. And I think minimoult is going to be aging up with the. He's still aging up with the governor. I like that. Quite a lot of players like to age up with the philosopher prince, but actually the 200 coin really nice for your market and market techs and or musketeer early production. The outpost is basically your insurance policy that you don't get destroyed early on, and you're still gathering food a little bit. You've still got 3 villas gathering food. We'll have a settler in queue, and it's all been going really well. But he has lots of villagers down here. I would like to see maybe 1 in this area, 1 down here, and just kind of spread out a little bit across the map. because if the Japan player does want to push in into your base, you don't want all of them in close. Right, Flontier, military rickshaw, does not want to put it down in base. You can tell that because he's just trying to like run this around and trying to get away from Minimoult's scouts, and just because Minimoult will know which direction this military rickshaw is going. Samurai as well, picking off the Explorer, but Minimoult, if he didn't realise what that foundation was, he now knows what it is because the Samurai is out in the field. You see these villagers actually herding this hunt back, but actually might move even closer. Early barracks coming down for Minimoult, and that is a good response to what Flontier is doing. Samurai scouted out by this house, and Daimyo Matatada coming in first card for Japan, and that seems to be very forward-thinking, aggressive. Barracks being put down, not even like a 600 wood shipment, just to help out with unit production of Yumis and or shrines. I would have liked Flontier to go for a trading post actually in the first stage. Now, seeing what Flontier has wanted to do, the trading post would have actually helped this aggressive playstyle that bit better. Torii Gate's interesting. Toshoga Shrine is obviously 2 houses worth of population, a bit of eco, but exports as well, where you can go for the Konshan and Mabushis. So you could kind of do the same strat what Flontier is doing, but instead of going as aggressive as this, you could have your consulate down, you could have Heavenly Kami, maybe you could go on 300 wood, but you'd have your Clubman and Ashi production still on a better eco. 5 Ashes being shipped to the forward Daimyo, 2 barracks is nearby. 600 wood though shipped from Minimoult, and he did scout this aggression coming from Flontier. 600 wood, and also great shipments, and he's luckily he's not chopping any more wood, but he has 15 vills tucked up in here, and has another 8 idle somewhere. A big batch of longbows coming out, which is certainly what he wants, but this Daimyo Matatada, 400 HP still standing. Looks like both the outpost and the town centre are focusing down, but not enough food for Minutemen as well. And if you want to lose your longbows, at least get your Minutemen out and trying to make the most of it. But this is awkward from Minimoult. May actually wants to sell a bit of wood and buy some food just to try and get a emergency batch of Minutemen, because you're just losing all these longbowmen basically for nothing at this point. Well, rest in peace, the Virginia Company Mana Boom. 6 longbowmen and the Minutemen come out, so this is exactly what Minimoult wanted to kind of use to bounce back, and you just see how that Minutemen shipment, as well as the 6 longbowmen, were just enough to push Flontier back. And I mean, after all that's said and done, Minimoult's still ahead in the economic population, putting down a few more manors as well. Lots of vills evacuated to the left-hand side. If we take off that fog of war, more hunts nearby, and I think Minimoult can just go pure longbow at the moment, or 2 batches of longbow, and a batch of longbow, batch of pike. Lots of coin being mined though. Maybe going into a hussar play or double musks. Right, Ash is pushing in again, but he knows longbows and Minutemen are nearby. Tower pushing this away, and yeah, Flontier. I'm not too sure about this build order, especially without a trading post. I still think that if the Shoga Shrine, Port Consulate, or well, you could have gone Consulate and transition, then go Japan Isolation, and then clubs, and then have Club Ashi at this point. At the moment, these Ashi Garrus are getting bullied by these mighty longbowmen from the British Empire. Look at these bad boys. Just that long range, just really putting the pain onto the Ashigaru Musketeers, and he's just waiting for that bigger mass. The Daimyo can train units as well, and he just ships wood crates to his Daimyo. That's so funny. Luckily that wasn't in the British player's base, because that would have been awkward. But I'm expecting a Naginata being trained at this point, and there we go, Naginata being trained from the Daimyo. Lots of coin being gathered. I think Flontier will push out with a 5 Nagi, and then maybe a 5 Yumi shipment coming in behind this. Could go Ashi attack, but I think just having more units at this point is going to help him. Yeah, lots of wood here, and I think Flontier is still working his way shrining around the map. So making use of that wood, but Daimyo Mostada first and 5 Ashi, and it wasn't like there was many Ashis being trained behind it as well, and it felt like the push was kind of working, but if you can't even push a British player going Virginia Company boom, then it feels like it's just not a great push anyway. Now Musketeers out on the floor. Minimoult correctly responded with 6 longbows, 6 muskets instead of 5 settlers. I like that adaptation, and even actually keeping this Villa alive from that Ashi volley. 10 HP. Thank you to the great coats saving that Ville's life, and that Ville can now happily continue gathering food and producing more units to the British player here. Four Ville's finally been sent for Flontier. He does have that market down off that 600 wood. Does have the second tier. Field upgrades, civil servants, and blanket filters. Still yet to get the Flimid Ditching and Imperial Bureaucracy. Maybe he has enough resources now to get the Imperial Bureaucracy if he wants to. Yes, there you go. It's being researched as we speak. But British player, lots of manners, lots of vills, lots of access to hunts. There's loads of hunts on this map. Some players complain that you can't see his hunt, but I think this is pretty clear. Maybe it's some players' graphics settings. And Ashi Garrus moving across the map onto these... British Musketeers moving across onto Ashi Garrus. Minimoult sending 5 vills. Next card surely should be the... Oh dear. Oh wow. 600 coin. Doesn't even have Musketeer attack. Has cavalry attack and HP. I dislike this cavalry damage attack card. That should be Musketeer attack. At least have the Musketeer attack and cav HP, so you have options, because we see no cavalry here and it's pure infantry mass. And that's why Minimoult went 5 vills afterwards, because there's nothing really left to ship. Not even going to Hussars, and why would go Hussars into pure Ashes? It's just Musketeers and Longbows, and Longbows grouped in with these Musketeers as well, so being kited back, pretty awkward with the Musketeers. I feel that these Longbows should be in a separate group away from your heavy infantry, and just the Musketeers can kite, the Longbows can just literally just sit here if they need. And as the Musketeers kite back, the Longbows come into range. And every time a Longbow's moving, it's not firing, and they have that setup animation you need to consider as well. Can Flontier go to the third age? Well, he's got macro soon to happen. He can send 600 coin. Flontier playing Japan can send his shipments twice. 600 coin can come in at a later point, but when you've gone for a not very high eco build, you kind of feel that you need to stay in. If he had a look at Minimoult's deck, he could feel safe going Ashi combat here, or no, I mean not combat, but Ashi Garu Musketeer attack. Get the Portuguese constant down, Japan isolation, and these Ashi Garu Musketeers are much stronger than their British counterparts. 27 range attack underneath a daimyo support, and look at these Musketeers, only 23 with lower HP as well. These Ashi Garus will overpower their British counterpart, but he's carrying it down in military count, and could also just go into pure Yumi at this point as well. Even training a couple of batches of Shinobi no Monos from the Japan consulate. I saw someone saying Flaming Arrows look pretty good versus Minimoult's comp. I'll tell you what's better than Flaming Arrows is just Yumi Archers, Disciplines, Golden Pavilion, and the 7 Yumi Archers you get on the age up. Frontier's not going to age up, second Barrett's coming down, but I wanted to see, yeah, he's got Yumi in queue, 1 Nagi in queue as well. The Nagi Natas feel a bit awkward, it's because it's majority Musketeers here. A few Longbows you want the Nagis to deal with, but if you just went pure Yumi here, you'd be in a decent position. But these British Musketeers are getting absolutely wrecked at this point, and Minimoult needs to do something different. And I did see a Hussar batch come out somewhere. Yes, 5 Hussars, left flank. Will be scouted out by a couple of shrines, but that's going to run straight into these Naginatas and Ashi Garus. 1 Nagi going for a lone raid, looks like, maybe on scouting duty, but pulled back into that group very, very quickly. chariot watchers were resent from Flontier, and we do see, yeah, there's the other chariot watchers at the back. So nice placement there. Actually, a decent amount of space for the Japan player to move into, which is not often what you see on this map. I think Flontier is actually in a decent position. The score suggests it's British favoured, but Flontier now sends in Ashigaru, Musketeer attack. These guys, 31 ranged damage underneath a Daimyo support. And if you think those are strong, well, look at these unupgraded Musketeers, 150 HP, 23 range attack. It's not like Minimoult even has an advanced arsenal. He can't go for flintlock, paper cartridge, speed upgrades. Yeah, this 600 coin feels very awkward. He's not even sensed the 700 food, and if you're playing on a map like Tuparo, you know you have access to food. So again, questioning the 700 food here as well. Hussar's getting caught out by Naginata Rider's left-hand side. This is going to spark a push from Minimoult in the centre. He knows that the cavalry is away from the infantry army, but Daimyo stay by. Ashigaru, just turn and fight, please. You're going to absolutely demolish what Minimoult has got in the field. And I'm not too sure if Flontier is aware. I don't know if Flontier actually plays with the maximised UMI or minimised UMI, but you can check 31, click your opponent's musketeers, 23, and go, 31. That's bigger than 23. Let's do it. Maybe he was waiting for a big batch of 10 Ashes coming. 10 Ashes pop in with one Shinobi Monono and one Naginata still coming out. Another Shrine coming down the left-hand side. Nice, actually. Really nice placement. That should get a couple of these animals before they get hunted. See, Flontier is good with his unit groups. These Shinobis are slightly different to the Ashigarus. It doesn't make the biggest difference, but these guys still have their own setup animation. And Ashigarus just on their own. Minimoult has been a bit drag boxing, shall we say. You see how he's got the longbows and musketeers here together. Usually it's fine, but the longbows take longer to fire and have to kite. Right, Minimoult going to the third age with the 700 coin. Artillery foundry coming down, and Flontier, please push your advantage with your stronger military now. Minimoult, when he gets to the next stage, surely we'll send in musketeer combat and or 2 falconets. He's got an artillery foundry coming down, maybe training his own falcons. Not enough coin income though. He needs to basically pull all his food villages onto the coin if he wants to make this transition much better, and even get in 3 TP stagecoach, 2 north side and 1 TP south. I don't know who's misplaying this more at the moment, Minimoult or Flontier. Minimoult, when he gets to the third age, he basically needs to back off and wait for vet musks, but Flontier is aging up behind this, and I think this lull of action from both players is really giving the other player that clue of what's going on. And you know, Flontier 160 shrine pop now behind this. Minimoult still at 200 mana pop, can't get any more population, but Flontier slowly creeping ahead in the eco lead. Not counting the 2 TPs on the north side. Actually, what both these players really should be doing is going for the Incan settlements down to the south. Incan Kyominkas, quite nice natives, but look at this. Faster training units and faster infantry speed. 20% infantry speed, 300 food, 300 coin. Need to know your map, guys. If you're playing in the EPL, you need to know your tournament maps. I've noticed a lot of people not having the required map knowledge for the EPL 2, which is a bit depressing. Especially, you know which 5 maps you're playing in advance. So go into your maps, check out the natives, check out strategies, and plan around, because this native is a great pickup, and it's just Frontier's just walking past. It's so close yet so far. Vet Huss, Vet Musketeers, and Longbowmen are pushing into Frontier's front door. 2 falconets are being shipped as well. I think a unit was being deleted there from Flontier, possibly for population reasons. Did delete 1 Ashigaru round out of the blue. Or maybe that's a delete from Minimoult. Hopefully 2 flying arrows coming in behind this for Flontier. Now you've just wait the British player. Now 2 falconets in the base. Vet Musketeer combat. Look at this.
31 range attack now. Consider Displays actually still have 37, but actually also need to deal with the Falconets. And you're losing so much infrastructure now. The barracks going down, Consulate looking like to go down. Where is your shipment, Flontier? Running Ashes into this infantry line. 2 flame arrows only just come out, but not near the Daimyo. Daimyo's still alive, trying to go for a flare, but the Daimyo is grouped with the cavalry, not with the infantry. The Daimyo really needs to boost this infantry. That's what the Daimyo does best. 2 flaming arrows being spawned at a very bad location, picked off by the Hussars straight away. Daimyo going down on top of the Falconets, and I think minimoult's in a great position here. With a big helping hand from Flontier in the process. Flontier has enough resources to go to the 4th age, but like he needs units on the field now to defend. We got more Brit Hussars pushing in on top of these Yumi archers, Shinobi, no Monos. More Vetas musketeers moving in, Musks moving in as well. A couple Nagis out raiding, but that doesn't really matter when you got all this infantry pushing in. And as soon as the villagers and the chariot archers being picked off. I wonder how many villagers gone down for Japan as well. It's about 13 apiece. Another shrine going down there for Flontier. Minimoult getting all that extra XP for that combat. Sends in 8 settlers afterwards. Maybe could have gone. I don't think he has the musketeers in deck, does he? No, he doesn't have 9 musk. Cav combat possibly, but 8 settlers a better choice than refrigeration here. So I like that 8 settler play. Oh, another big batch of Falconets. I was wondering kind of why Minimoult's kind of steam had essentially ran out, and Flontier still working out if he wants to go to the next age or not. But now he's seen all these Falconets. Rest in peace, this Golden Pavilion. Rest in peace, this town centre. And if Flontier wants to engage right now, rest in peace, the Japanese army. Lots of Mandarin Duck Squad supports in the chat. Big Moltons flying around, and they'll be happy once they see these 5 Falconets putting in work versus the town centre. Ashley's trying to flank left side. These musketeers just need to stay with the Falconets. I don't see a castle coming down here from Flontier. I just see a Hussar raid to the south. Another Chariot Orchard shipment as well. Chariot Orchard's out here. 2,000 chariots being denied. But sieging on the Golden Pavilion. Oh, this is not a great sight if you like Japan, and I think Minimoult is in a not just a good position, but a commanding position at this point. Villagers actually trying to gather from this Chariot Orchard. Maybe they're at max capacity over here, but really throwing vills away. Flontier once again not having Eastern Medicine, a player who's consistently not getting their vill HP. Yabu-Sam raid top side, but 5 Yabu-Sams with all these longbow musketeers. Hey, you might pick off one Falconet, but the Falconet's working on the others, and the GG comes out, and a deserved victory there for Minimoult, if I do say so. The SKGs really do not need Flontier to lose this series. They've already down a few series versus the Mandarin Duck Squad. At the start of this game, it was 7-13 to the Mandarin Duck Squad, with victories for Mandarin Duck Squad of King of Osmane and Maito, where the SKG had victories from India Bot and Fard. Yeah, so 2 series wins apiece. This is the final series of their matchup between these 2 players, but it looks like Minimoult is doing enough here for the Mandarin Duck Squad to get this series victory. Currently, the score between the 2 teams is 15-8 in favour of Mandarin Duck Squad, with 2 games to play. Virginia coming in. It felt like Flontier was going for like a full-on military playstyle age 2, but was kind of half in, half out of it. It didn't feel like that rush really worked or got much done. Minimoult starting to lose a few villagers here and there before getting to the 3rd age. Lots of villagers to a nice raid
during Nagi's left side, but 8 Vils reinforcing, but always had the eco advantage over Japan for the majority of the game, and you can see that's happening. But it's where the military fight happens, and just Flontier having such superior quality units throughout the second age. He'll be kicking himself once he looks back at his squad. And in the third age, grouping the Daimyo with the Naginatas to just take down 2 Falconets. That felt like a bit of a wrong decision there. Hussars picking up the flaming arrows for free as well. And then just the reinforcing Falconet batch, a 5 Falc batch from the Artillery Foundry. Absolutely glorious sights to see. Both his players as well coming back from serious defeats in week number 1. Flontier losing 2-3 versus the Only Baus, with Minimoult losing also 2-3 versus Haka/Hatamoto Samurai. So it looks like Minimoult is trying to avenge his defeat series versus Haka and shows to the Mandarin Duck squad why the MDS put their faith in Minimoult. Flontier though, currently 2-1 down versus Minimoult, really needs to try and pull this back, because SKG are desperate for points. Poor week 1 and on track for another poor week in week number 2. Looks like we're still starting. Looks like we're trying to arrange the future streams tonight to be casted. At the moment, we have Musketeer925 stepping up, one of the developers of the ESOC forums and being around the scene for quite a while. I've certainly enjoyed casting of Musketeer. I think I've casted a series or 2 with him before. Really enjoyed what I've heard. So in for a good show later. I locked Brit for Harry. Harry has a. I assume it's something else. Not me though. Oh yeah, because he needs to let me know. Minimal Mandarin Duck squad picking what? Oh yes.
Yes.
Very nice. Flontier going Spain. If any of you guys were watching the series streamed yesterday, and probably one of the previous YouTube videos if you're watching later, there's a very, very funny game between Fard and Wukul. It was game 5 on Iowa, British versus Spain. I won't spoil it, but if you're a fan of ASAC strategies, certainly one to watch. Lots and lots and lots of a certain unit was out in the field, and it was just a mayhem game. I couldn't believe what I was watching. It's certainly worth a watch. Minimoult's going for a quick toilet break, and you know what? I shall join him in spirit. Not physically join him, that'd be a bit weird, and physically impossible as well. But I'll be back in 1 minute, guys. Right, I am back.
Are you ready?
Hopefully both players are ready. Let's have a look through the chat and see if anything interesting happened during the last game in the chat. Lucas, 200 pops soon, and then Jazz with what the what's happened afterwards. It's quite hard to see which player supporting whom, but lots of support from the MDS clan in this chat, looks like. Seth Snap just wasted 20 Ashy, Fro, my lord. Hazarov is, oh god. Soldiers, my lord, is saying, oh my god, my lord. Soldiers playing later today, so hopefully he's not seeing too much inspiration from that matchup there. Nice Falcon defense from Xerxes. Trying to age up to age 4, suggested from Jazz.
Yes.
Flontier is thinking more about dinner than this game. But yeah, I think once that fight happened, it's just like, rest in peace, Japan. Right, let's go back down to the bottom and let's carry on. Minimoult spawning into game number 4 on Wadmalau. Staying as the British civilization, there was a civ reset after the third game, which was, you know, last game on Tuparo, where Minimoult took the victory over Flontiers Japan. Quite a solid play from Minimoult. Got the mass going, but then waited for that tech advantage, and once that tech advantage came in, it was pushed out and reinforced with lots of cannons. Flontier has chosen to counter Minimoult's play on Guadalcanal with the French civilization. We do see a bit of a water map. Maybe Minimoult thinking of going for like some sort of semi-water. Not too many hunts on this map, and they're certainly out forward of the base. Making good use though of this early canoe. Minimoult is working his way for a free 80 coin treasure, which a villager or explorer can pick up. Meanwhile, Flontier is just busy fishing, and has so far only got 9 food, but Minimoult has been working his way, and if he's focused again a little bit better, get a bit closer, he's retargeting. Yeah, 80 coin, much nicer than that 10 food. 50 wood incoming from Minimoult. I just like this just extra use of the canoe. It feels like, you know, in a tournament game you want to get every single bit of advantage, but this isn't tiny. This 80 coin here is materialistic, and it's certainly really nice. 15 food is like the equivalent of half a second when you have maybe like 15, 16 CDBs gathering food, or maybe just, let's just say 1 second. It's not the biggest thing going on, so I like how Minimoult's making use of his canoe. Obviously we do have the islands to the north side, 3 cows, small treasure, berries, trees in the mine. That's mirrored both sides. You get nice Cherokee rifleman from 3 Black Bears. Could be an easy pickings for this canoe as well. And I think, okay, the outlaw rifleman is not going to be picked up by the canoe. That's way too dangerous to take on for a canoe. I think now the canoe is just going to scout the side, scout the top. Might even scout the actual cow and bring home 1 cow early on. But we'll need to send his explorer on the north side. He's going to try and... He needs to run. Yeah, he's just going to take off 1. Scout the top, pick up the cows, come back, and then finish his treasure off. And 130 wood for a British player, that's just another manor house. That's really nice for Minimoult if he does manage to get it. In the meantime, though, first he needs to pick up the cows. Maybe pick up the 30 food treasure, but the 130 wood is more valuable. And did he actually see that cow? He's seen 1 cow, and they spawn as a group. So he's moving across, 2nd cow and 3rd cow. Canoe moving across to pick the lads up. Flontier starting with a market house. Hunting dogs. Where are these guys? Okay, yeah, the cows are going home. Yeah, he's just unloaded the cows, and the canoe is out getting more treasures. So minimoult is playing a really nice age one so far. Native Scout nearby could pick the cows if he gets in, but these cows now nearby the manor house, these are safe. Imagine to get home. First shipment coming in for minimoult. 3 Vils. Quick look at minimoult's deck, see what's going on here. We do see Virginia Company, schooners, as well as 2 caravels, 1 frigate. No fishing upgrade card in the second or first age, and I don't know what card here you would not choose to send. Well, Virginia Company actually. That's quite a big card to have in your deck at the moment. It feels like just it's not a real good map for hunting. You could go onto the islands and build some more manor houses there if you go Virginia Company, but you kind of need that TP first, and the start just didn't allow minimoults to go for that TP, and it's quite a lot of these hunts are out the forward, and maybe going for water play is better. Did pick up that 130 wood treasure though, so really nice pickup there for minimoult. Already investing into another manor house already. Ship defense from Flontier, but nothing more than just a couple of ships. I don't think Flontier will be thinking about the water too much, but it does have double wood cards and double coin cards in the second age. I think this might be a Musketeer Hussar spam from Flontier in the second age. 2 villagers as well, moving in the middle of the map to start hunting and put some barracks down. You only usually send 2 if you want to build up very fast, or if you want to build 2 buildings at the same time. So 2 CDBs is a bit sketch coming out from Flontier, and double barracks being put down. Instantly scouted from minimoult. Minimoult getting a bit of siege damage on, but he just knows what's going on. He knows that Flontier is going double barracks. He's going to go for TP control in the middle of the map, shall I say. That's what he wants to do. And I feel that minimoult, he's still going for a few more manors. I like him to stop at some point, and maybe on his first card, 700 wood, drop down double barracks himself. Okay, 1 barracks already put down to the right hand side. Interesting outpost position. I'm not too sure I'm a massive fan of it. You do have 2 in base tin mines though. Maybe this outpost could go a little bit closer to this coin mine to protect this silver mine, or go right side and protect this extra hunt and silver mine. So it's kind of there's advantages both sides, but also in the middle you're kind of in between as well. So it doesn't overly matter. 700 wood first shipment, and a batch of pikes, batch of bowmen, and it's going to be a bow pike rush from Flontier. Flontier did get the cows, so that's something at least, and he left 1 CDB on that berry bush. And again, I like that play because just you don't have to bring back the extra CDB because you're going to run out all your hunts in your own base anyway, so you might as well get that berry bush started. 3 longbows first batch, and Flontier could have actually capitalised on that, just 3 longbow batch. But would be under town centre and outpost fire. 6 longbows, card number 2, with more longbows in queue, and with 2 barracks down, you could make the case for going 600 wood. But I mean, 600 wood, if you're going to spend that into longbows anyway, well, just send 6 longbows. That does the same job. A slightly safer way of getting there because it's the 600 resources on the floor, ready to go. Minimoult scouting out where these crossbow and pikes are, but only having a single batch of crossbow and pikemen feels very underwhelming at this point. Flontier has got the 2 TPs down, but his explorers having to move across the entire map to go to the 3rd one. 4 Vils, next shipment for Flontier. Hopefully for him, he has a wood shipment coming in to help that stagecoach play and more units, because at the moment, minimoult is ahead in eco and ahead in the military. Yeah, Stagecoach comes in, will be scouted out by minimoult, and if you're scouting this, really want to capture this for yourself. Explorer's alive, you do have a bit of coin available to buy some wood, and he's pushed into the barracks even with the Explorer. Not too sure about the Explorer play moving forward. You know that 3rd TP is available, just do it to be number 2. I think even scouted out it was open with his longbow mass, and the French Explorer is not anywhere nearby, but maybe Flontier is going to go 700 coin and try and get a fast age up, and these pikes and crossbows were a bit of a bluff, but massing musketeers now, and a stable coming down instead. Looks like a transition in towards a Musketeer Hussar stream. Musketeer and Hussar play instead of pure bow pike. You see, he's even scaled back on that crossbowman. I don't think he wants to invest anymore. Yeah, he's actually cancelled that crossbowman. But longbows, how the hell do longbows siege down a barracks and not get punished? I do not know. One Vil waiting patiently on his trading post. That could be the Explorer doing that same job, but it doesn't necessarily matter. But where's that? Hopefully that TP gets brought up for British play. It's just such an open economic win that is to pick up that, but picking up that second barracks as well, very nice. And that's basically denied. It's basically losing the 2 barracks is the wood gained from that stagecoach. So it's not really that eco from Flontier is not paying off just yet, shall we say. But if Flontier is not pushing onto this already, minimoult must know that he's in a relatively decent position, because Flontier, it's quite hard to give up that already. One batch of Huss out. Where's that second batch of Huss? Sending 3 Hussars instead of a shipment like 700 coin, and Minutemen being called. He's already lost his barracks, so he can't train more Musketeers. Minimoult's really pushing forward, and it's so annoying to see that goes to the French players' hands, where Minimoult just had nice control over it. But classic Minimoult here. Longbowmen, Musketeers grouped up together. And when you have cavalry in the field, this is really awkward, because you want your Musketeers out front blocking the Hussars. Longbows at the back. Now they're firing. He needs to stand stationary. And if he has always in the same group and moves the Musketeers and Longbows, that's going to cancel his fire. But Longbows staying still, firing. Another 3 pike pickup. Very nice. He'll take that. They certainly tank a lot though, but that's a nice pickup. And now it's starting to siege these trading posts. But Minimoult 400 wood. He could have had that trading post himself. And Minimoult he's trying to build it then, but he's missed that opportunity. Too late, bud. Too late. So I'm just patiently waiting to see what Flontier's plan is. He's got lots of Hussars. Is he going to go for Hussar HP shipment? He's sending all his Hussars out for a raid or to pick up these pikemen, and I guess you're definitely going to win that trade, but you're just showing your opponent how much cavalry you have, and Minimoult will no longer be training any more longbows. We'll just go pure Musketeers. This time he does have the Musketeer attack and HP card, so expecting that to be shipped from Minimoult. And it's just more business as usual. Train post going down for the British. Flontier did pick up that 2 pikemen. Does save his other trading post, but again, Musketeers, crossbowmen, Minutemen just sitting back. French player starting to run out of hunts. Musk's moving in. Could pick up another Vil kill here. 2 Vils going down. The third one going down there as well. So nice pick up there. And you can see that Minimoult's happy, but he just wants to back out. He doesn't want to overcommit, especially when he's actually starting to get on the train post line himself, waiting for his Musketeer upgrades coming in through. And he knows where the French player is pushing out for resources. He understands that he can just pressure this point here and there, but trying to fight the CDBs on top of the army is a bit risky, and I like Minimoult's decision to not overcommit. This is a tournament game, and you don't want to overlose the situation. Nice raid though from Flontier, pushing in. Minimoult, no greatcoats. Guessing the greatcoats straight away though. We'll lose maybe 2 villagers to this, but the entire Musk mass pulling back. Longbows a little bit out of position, and where the rest of those Hussars. Those Hussars could have cleaned up those longbows, or at least picked up a few. And that's probably the benefit of raiding with 3 or 4 Huss. You get the job done, but then the remainder cavalry units can then focus on other things, like trying to siege down its training post or catch your longbow mass out of position. Players in the chat suggesting that the bow pike rush was alright, but then kind of backed out into TP control with no army, and Staying Age 2 versus Britain is a bit of a death sentence, and you can see this. Military population relatively equal, but quite a lot of the population for Flontier is in these Hussars, which don't do very well versus Musketeers, but the Musketeers have the upgrade cards on them. Even sending 8 crossbows from Flontier at this point feels slightly awkward and maybe wanted to send 8 expos earlier in the game, or now go for something like 700 coin. Barracks being put up again. 700 food being shipped from Flontier. I guess he does have... Well, he's already gone through 1 coin mine. He's nearly out of his 2nd coin mine. These are 2 tin mines, remember. Longbow's a little bit ahead, scouting the entire army, but sees just sees what he's dealing with. And I think minimoult is happy with his position. And actually, if Flontier ages up at this point, that's the go time for minimoult to push in. Another raid right side, but caught by 5 musks, and lots of these hussars low HP as well. Right, he's got his longbows and musketeers, different groups. That's good to see. Musketeers in front. Hussars going straight onto the musketeers here. A few of these musketeers in hand combat, but fending these units away. Now longbows staying stationary, engaging with the crossbows. Crossbows just constantly going down. A few musketeers left side, hand combat. Hussars engaging musketeers instead of pushing in front of longbows. And it feels like a lot of cavalry from Flontier has gone down already, and not much has been achieved. Even minimoult now sending his own cavalry onto the field. A full 5 hussar batch would be great for snaring this infantry mass and allow the musketeers, double carded now, to fire from behind. Cavalry from Flontier still unupgraded. Same stats as the British hussars, but these musketeers now, 26 attack, 172 HP. Much better than the French musketeers, and even better than the crossbows. Minutemen, still strong for French. They're still standing, but smallest range should get picked off by these longbows quite cheaply. Right, I think it's going to be another big engagement here. Flontier has more cavalry this time. Population is relatively equal, but again, hussars charging straight into this musketeer line. He wants to try and push through onto the longbows, but it just feels like there's just too many musketeers here really to do anything that effective with cavalry, and then your ranged infantry behind us is not really cutting the mustard, as interjection would say. Longbowman's high rate of fire as well with the 1.25 versus these musketeers. It just feels like this fight has gone relatively well for Flontier actually, but it's now edging its way in the favour of minimoult. But minimoult with a better eco, same TP, and now dropping 2 docks topside, maybe 1 dock on the right side as well, taking the initiative, and Flontier resigns. Minimoult 3-1 up. SKG's in dire trouble here. Minimoult with the 115. Let's go. That was way too polite. It needs to be a bit more aggressive. Oh well. I'm sure Soldier later tonight will be spamming the taunts during his series. Hashtag Soldier hype. Obviously his opponent as well. Hype them up as well. All resources relatively equal, and actually that military mass from Flontier, it seemed to be, you know, keeping up the British player, losing lots of units here and there, but getting that good remass actually. I think Flontier, if he kind of didn't take some poor trades early on, could have pushed out and overwhelmed minimoult. But when you're still in the colonial age after 12 minutes, you're expecting the British player to have upgrade cards, and minimoult choosing to send schooners instead of cav HP, which could have been also another great shipment to have on your hussars. Flontier staying age. I think Flontier could have done the exact same thing by going stable hussars into stagecoach play, hussars to pressure, and then get that fortress age in and play on from there. Right, I think Flontier wants to carry on very quickly because he's busy doing other stuff, or probably having his dinner in a bit. It's nearly getting that time for me as well. What time was this meant to start? So I started the 3-5-5. Yeah, okay. We're on time, but just 1 minute, 1 game behind essentially. But no series for a little bit afterwards.
Right, final map is going to be Iowa SKG to pick. SKG.
Yes.
Kilo Cry 4 AM, let's go. If you go to sleep now and wake up in about 1 hour time, you can catch the Nushuba Soldier game. So get your 1 hour sleep and then come back for the Soldier series. Flontier picking Spain, minimoult going Iroquois, and we've seen this matchup today actually, wasn't it? It was I'm Turk versus Diaroga on Iowa, and I'm Turk went for an advanced training post play. Diaroga managed to steal 2 of the trading route TPs and then pushing out with an early fast fortress military aggression, and the Spanish player was just a little bit too slow to try and react to the Eero push, and then it was a real convincing cleanup underneath the Spanish players' TCs. So we might see similar play styles. Flontier could also go advance TP into eco and then try and go for a revolt. Maybe has a fort in deck, could go for a defensive fort to try and survive until he gets to the industrial age. That could be a play from Flontier. View decks 1v1 beta. Got the beta and the normal EP. EP with Highlanders options. This deck 8 rods, 9 rods, 5 husks, no infantry combat, double, quadruple hand cav upgrade cards, and the Highlanders are present. EP Water versus Otter. How many decks does he have? Like, okay, there's a deck called Tournaments, so that's a bit of a clue. But that's on Water. Maybe he was trying to play this Spain on Wadmalau. EP, this deck has 12 pikes. 12 pikes has definitely fallen out of favour with most Spanish players recently. It's just rods, lances, and the upgrade cards. We'll have to see. How do you survive with this many decks? Like, it will drive me insane. Like, this EP New England map is the same. It's the same deck as 1v1 EP Water. Like, surely it just feels. I don't know how you need more than like 5 decks. Oh, what a deck! Final game being loaded up here on ESOC Iowa. Iroquois versus the Spain. Not the Spain, the Spanish. God, Harrison, get it right. I'm not too sure if this is launched actually. Do I press cancel or do I hands off the keyboard? I'm gonna wait around, and looks like that didn't work. Maybe ESOC is down. Maybe ESO down.
Yes.
Meanwhile, taunting Flontier. Rest in peace, that dinner. Flontier will have to do even faster strat. Yeah, resign after 2 minutes. Sompu Konku should make every member practice it 10 minutes per week. That's enough to learn the bottle FF, he says. Maybe if all your team members
had learnt the bottle FF, scoreboards could be slightly more favourable. Because currently it's 8-16 in favour of the Mandarin Duck squad, and if minimoult wins this series to go 4-1 up, that final score will be 17-8 in favour of MDS, and that's another big pickup. I don't know when we can go or not. I don't want to press refresh. I guess we'll try go. Ready?
Are you ready?
Even Kilocroat saying Sompu, your team is mad. It's okay, you know, they've had a tough 2 weeks, but I'm sure they can bounce back. Hopefully they can bounce back. Right, both players. One nearby, hunts herdable, and one to the side. Probably a slight favourable map spawn here for minimoult, all things considered, but this is mirror hunt to here, and the other hunts are very mirrored. It's usually very mirrored map spawns to start off, even these coin mines, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, very mirrored maps for both players. So we're going to stay with this one and carry on for the rest of this match. This is the final game between minimoult and Flontier. Minimoult flying the flag very proudly at the moment for the Mandarin Duck squad. Flontier taking 1 point home for the SKGs at the moment. Can he try and regain some lost pride and at least get a 2nd point versus minimoult? Flontier marching straight away to this TP left side, but he's got another wood crate to gather just yet, but he needs that house down, so no early trading post just yet. I'm sure that Flontier will be sending advanced trading post as his 2nd card, so he can get onto this trading route line. Bear Cub, nice treasure. Looks like Dog's going to go slightly forward, but deciding to walk past it at the moment, and he has scouted it. I'm a bit... I would like... yeah, he's now going back to it. He's just maybe a bit AFK. When you haven't scouted any of the treasures, you might as well just take it up treasure while you can, and you can spend a crack shot on this treasure, and it's not too bad because then you pick up the black bear, which basically your semi-automatic crack shots of how strong it is. These pet bears absolutely wreck native guardians, and this one still has its multiply of 3, so 12 by 3, 36 each attack. Very nice. Honcho has been slightly reduced, but still very strong. And now this black bear with the war dog, easy pickings to 75 wood, and this 75 wood as well as that on extra 100 wood in base. Enough woods to get an early TP down once that advanced trading post has been sent from Flontier as card number 2. I assume 3 villagers will be the first card coming in. I don't really know why Flontier is waiting too much, because just give an opportunity for minimoults to come in, and yeah, minimoults walking in with his 2 converted guardians, and it's just delaying Flontier at this point. Since like Flontier really wants to try and avoid combat with other players, explorers, but now having the dog and the pet bear, it's not like the Aero player can really do massive damage to these 2 units. Could crack shot them for splash damage, but minimoult is respecting his opponents, getting out of the way, saying, okay, 75 wood, you go for it. But I'm going to click up, start chopping wood, and I'm going to steal one of these TPs for myself and then drop my war hut right here. I reckon is to play. Flontier does have a shipment ready to go if he chooses to. Is he going to send it? Is he going to send it? Let us find out. And at the moment, the answer is no. It's not like he's already sent it and magically got another one, because he hasn't picked up an XP treasure. Pet Bear and the War Dog hunting down the Aero Explorer. Nice play from Flontier. Slightly late though. Could have been here much earlier, but this TP is going to go up, and I think the correct play will be just to get the TP up first, foremost, and then try and fight his guys. Crack shot straight away, actually. Will the crack shot come down? Yeah, it is. Nailed down. And oh wow, that's a big damage. That's 60 damage to both of these units. So really, really strong attack there, and actually can just fight his off. Minimoult needs to stay by his trading post though. This is a nice idea in theory, but it doesn't work because if you lose your Hero Explorer, you get revived straight away by the trading post. But now, if you lose it in the open, you're kind of stuck. Oh, that's the last hit, and Gentle Pete managed to get that. And if anything, if Minimoult just stayed and continuously attacked the dog and the bear underneath that underneath that trading post, I think he could have survived as well, and well, at least be revived at this point. Look at his HP, 278. He could be back on his feet, but no. And Villager going across to revive as well, and actually for some reason Minimoult was spawn on the other side of the map, so I thought it'd be a very long walk for a Villager, but nope. Single Villager, shouldn't be too far. Defensive in-base Warhawk coming up from Minimoult. Not a massive fan of that actually, especially when you're playing against Spain. And a Spanish player who's not going ATP, just standard Spain stuff. Mid-map tower, has enough coin to send the 700 coin and age up. But, you know, a mid-map tower with no infantry nearby to defend, you are at risk of 5 Tomahawks being trained. Aero Party being researched from Minimoult and tearing down that mid-map outpost. Risky play here from Flontier. It may pay off or may backfire spectacularly. Especially when you have Outlaw Riflemen and a Cherokee Rifleman just have extra HP to tank. He will see where this outpost is and will probably want to try and push this. He needs to see what the Spanish player is doing in base. Obviously now it's a little bit late. He can't see those coin crates, but with no, he can tell by the TP count in the top right. There's only 1 TP, so he definitely hasn't got an ATP. He can't see many barracks around this outpost. So it's not an aggressive bow pike strategy. So due to the power of deduction, you can guess it's going to be a Spanish FF. Oneville coming out across the map now, probably dropping the barracks on that 700 woods. But I feel that Minimoult could be doing something a little bit more. But it looks like it's going to go 5-vil and then all resource crates shipment behind this just to get the resources going. But has already enough food. It won't need all these food crates. The wood crates are nice to get some Tomahawks in production. If Flontier gets to the 3rd age and even 5-vil to this middle outpost, and this feels like this shouldn't work, but it has worked. If Minimoult had that middle TP, he'd be at risk of being sieged, but at least his scout everything's going on. Minimoult at the moment is kind of playing this blind, it looks like. I'm not even too sure if that Outlaw Rifleman over here scouted this outpost. Hunting dogs, place of mines. Lots of villagers here gathering coin. All villagers gathering coin from Minimoult. And, I mean, you've got to check what's in the deck. And the only mercenary thing that Iroquois have access to is the 5 Renegade French Cuirassiers. But French Cuirassiers, very strong heavy cavalry, but still get taken down by pikemen, just like any other cavalry. And that's what Flontier could be going for his next card. It could be that 9 Rodellera shipment. Even Rod's pushed into the base now. This coin income from Minimoult, it's still most of its coin. I want to know what Minimoult wants to do with this. I don't think he's going Lakota just yet for dog soldiers or hunting. He could even go for the market big button XP, but he's now starting to move vills away from the coin mine onto this bison, and maybe he's just kind of gathering the coin while this hunt was being herded. But he's starting to herd the left-hand hunt as well. Still lots of coin. I'm just confused with what's the plan from Minimoult here. 2 Falconets, first card from Flontier, 5 Scrums, 1 Doggo being trained from Andres Cabrillo. Another batch of, so batch of skirmishers, 5 rods for Huss. That 5 Cuirassier shipment could actually clean up this entire army here, but 5 musks opening up from Minimoult, and actually musketeers as well. It's just not just doesn't feel we should be pushing out on one Fortress Age shipment, Flontier. It just feels like you're about to get absolutely wrecked here, especially with your Fortress Age 2 fires, War Chief, getting that crack shot on these dogs and Rodoleros. Crack shot does come in. Is it coming in? Yeah, he's focusing down the skirmishers. Skirmishers still standing below HP. Military population still in favour of Aero here, and another shipment from Aero is likely to be on the field very, very soon. One Falcon going down. Minimoult right on top of his Spanish army though. These war dogs doing lots of damage. I think Minimoult is overcommitting for the Falconet. And Rod's coming in topside, snaring these musket riders. That's not what he wanted. That went surprisingly well for Flontier against my expectations. Warhut though getting the final kill on the Spanish Explorer, so no more war dogs for a while. Minimoult has seen its rods and skirms at the moment, so naturally we'd be wanting to go for Forest Prior shipments to counter this. Single musket rider batch, a Cuirassier shipment of the French Renegade Cuirassiers is always and a tactical option going on, and that Cherokee Rifleman currently raided, but you know, this unit has 200 HP. This could be a very tactical unit for absorbing lots of damage, and that could have been the difference of saving another 2 musket rider life. So Sompu Konku saying some interesting comments in the chat. Hopefully I'm not one of those. I like to think I'm a nice guy. I like everybody. 8 Forest Prior's first shipment here from second shipment from Minimoult has started to kind of regroup his musket rider count. Flontier's managed to go for 9 rods, 5 lances, but the thing is, without this Falconet support, it kind of feels like this whole kind of composition kind of falls apart, really. Maybe could have gone 9 rods, 2 Falconets, so the rods out in the field to protect, and then had a bit more of a mass to push in with the Falconets. You'd be up against a stronger army, but at that point, the Falconets would be more protected. Well, I guess that kind of, what is it? Those Falconets kind of enticed Minimoult to overcommit and pay with the musket riders, and lots going down. But Lance is moving in from Flontier though. Only a couple of musket riders. The difference between Minimoult here and Daruga in the previous series, there's no tomahawks on the field for Minimoult, and you know, going Forest Prior and musket riders feels like a nice combination. But actually, tomahawks is what you really want versus Rod and Lancer, just to try and defend. All resource shipment coming in is card number 3, very greedy, and it's coming out at the wrong time, unfortunately. The Cuirassiers wouldn't help too much, but these Rodoleros snaring this elite Forest Priors. A couple of Lancers still going. War Dog even doing massive damage. 22 hand attack versus these Forest Priors. And this is a cleanup from Flontier. I think he's in a winning position here, doing really well. He's cleaned up the majority of the remaining Forest Priors, and he knows that shipments are only going to spawn from the town centre or the war huts, and he knows that there's no shipment coming very, very soon due to all these crates on the floor not being gathered up. That war hut's going down. A batch of musket riders out. Skirmisher count really low here for Minimoult. So if these guys kite for the rest of the game, they could get some good value. But 8 skirmishers, and it's the rods are very difficult here to deal with because they're very, very fast. 6 speed. I'm waiting for reinforcements. 4 skirmishers reinforcing, 4 skirmishers sat idle. Those skirmishers he needs now because that's what he needs to do with the musket riders. But 8 Rodolero shipment, that should be enough. Rods moving across. Skirmishers, it's not been dragged in, but more Rodoleros. When I group units, I used to click the units, select all the units, and then group them. 6 Canyon Horsemen's. It was a good shipment at the time of it being sent, but now there's more Rodolero reinforcements. Probably won't be enough, especially with this skirmisher reinforcing mass.
Estoy herido y no puedo moverme.
Right, Canyon starting to push into the veteran skirmishers. Rodolero is moving forwards, and the Canyons are kind of stuck in between the market and the tree. Musket Riders fighting, but not kiting at the same time, allowing these Rodoleros to close up, especially this 5 batch of Rodoleros. A really nice, wise decision to go for Rodoleros. You see how once these units are snared, they kind of don't do very well at all, and these Rodoleros are just
making the most out of this and just picking up a few more units. Canya's down, rods and dogs on the field, only a small amount of units available. Is there a side build? There's more villagers chopping wood, but no war huts. No war hut this side as well. So it's just everything in the base is what you see. Minimoult's score is dropping. All these resources still yet to be gathered up. It'd be nice if Smash players get their veteran Rodolero upgrade at some point, but most games we never see veteran Rodoleros just because wood at this moment for Flontier is very hard to come by. It feels a bit awkward, especially when you're continuously pumping out units. Another batch of 5 Rodoleros, 4 Lancers, hand infantry combat, so hand infantry combat playing the role as veteran Rodoleros here at this point. Lancers moving left side, trying to scout this extra hunt and mine. We'll see the mine, and it makes sense to scout the hunt. This mine feels a bit like lucky pickup from Flontier, but I guess the mine in base for Minimoult, there's only 1 left and only 22 coins, so likely other mines are being gathered at the moment, and that's just brought the entire army from Iro out onto the open field where the Spanish player wants it. Villagers going down, moving these idle vills as well off the hunts, because if they stay on the hunts they may be in the line of sight. Just about surviving, could go back onto the hunt there. 1 war hut put down on the far right coin mine, a villager evacuating to the north tin mine as well, gathering up 400 coin by himself. Right, there's the veteran Rodoleros, and this is much better to see. With the hand combat card and veterancy, now their HP is 182, and that was up from 135, so these guys actually can tank quite a bit now. And these rifle riders, and kind of not enough. Forest Prowlers is still what you need versus Rodoleros, but it just feels that Rodoleros are just really interestingly good units. Just they counter the cavalry, but because they're so fast, they catch them so easily. And Minimoult goes to the GG, and Flontier does bring back another point towards the SKGs. So the final score in this series is 3-2 for Minimoult. Frontier's out. I think Minimoult's going to be sticking around a little bit longer. Looks like these two are friendly with each other. It's always nice to see good relationships within the community. Go away, voices. That's better. A villager count. Losing a villager on that age up to the 3rd age. Not the biggest deal, but it's that early push out from the Spanish player. It feels like Minimoult had the far superior units. He had musket riders and forest prowlers, while Flontier had colonial rods, colonial huss, dogs, 5 skirmishers, just a bit of mix and mix in this, and actually managed to get a good trade due to the fact that those falconets were able to pick off those forest prowlers, or most of them. But then Minimoult pushed forward his musket riders on top of those falconets as well, but then Rodoleros came in, skirmishers were still firing, and lots of musket riders going down. And I think that's the point where Minimoult realised that he was on the back foot. If Minimoult kept that musket rider count very, very healthy, he could be kiting the Smash army for the rest of the game. So that small mistake there at this point, I believe, really affected the rest of his game. But then a really good fight from Flontier underneath Minimoult's base. So we're just moving in with lots of Rodoleros and just catching all this cavalry. It's just, this was a really nice, and fair play for Minimoult for trying his best to reinforce. But Flontier is trickling lots of these 1-pop units getting picked off, but these were expensive musket riders and canyons getting picked off, being trapped behind those trees and markets, and always had that military advantage afterwards.